If I could tell myself one piece of advice when I was in my teens, I would tell myself that life is not a race. Calm down. Chill out. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vanessa, if you did not know. And today we're going to be doing a chit chat, get ready with me. We're going to be chatting about me, my life, how I got here today. After my testimony in my previous video, I feel like you guys deserve to know more about me since I gave, a little teaser. But yes, if you haven't watched my previous video, please go watch it. And yeah, let's get started. So I started college and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be a doctor. I didn't want to be a nurse. I didn't want to be a lawyer. So my parents suggested that why don't I study business? That way when I graduate, I can do whatever I want with that. Since business is such a broad spectrum, I was like, okay, why not? So I started college, and of course, I'm not really a schoolgirl. I'm not the type that's like book smart in other ways, but not when it comes to the classroom. So yeah, I drove to school every single day, and then I decided to get a job on the side. And I ended up working at a department store. It's called Steinmart, and it's just a department store that sells everything: clothes, jewelry, luggages, purses, basically shoes, everything. I started getting into makeup, and the main reason why I started getting into makeup was because my mom took me to the MAC counter when I was 18. I remember it was my senior year of prom, and she took me to go get my makeup done at the counter. And I remember a transgender woman did my makeup, and at the time I loved it so much. Like, you couldn't tell me anything. I was like, wow, oh my gosh, this is how I can look like with makeup on. While I was sitting there getting my makeup done, I remember my mom kept telling her, don't do too much, not too much. And she was just like, But she still did her thing. I remember she gave me a smoky eye and a neutral lip. It was so cute. I just sat there enjoying the moment, watching the girls do other people's makeup, selling makeup, going back and forth. And I was like, wow, this is a whole world that I didn't know about. Like I said, I was a track girl. I was a tomboy. I did sports. I was really into sports, and my parents were really strict. So I wasn't into makeup. Well, it's not that I wasn't into makeup. I just hadn't been introduced to the world of makeup. After that, you know how when you go to MAC, you have to spend, at the time you had to spend like $50 to get your makeup done? Well, that's what my mom did for me. We spent like $50. I remember we got a Studio Fix powder, we got a lipstick, and I think a blush. So I remember keeping those three, and I used that Studio Fix powder to the brim. Like, it hit pan and I was scraping the corners. Like, I would wear that every day to school. I remember I was so thirsty. So back to me working out at Steinmart. Anytime that I would get some extra money, I would go and buy more makeup, because ever since then I just got so addicted. I remember the next thing I bought was a concealer. I just kept going ham, and I remember my concealer being OD light. Well, it was probably as light as this, but I just didn't know how to blend it, After that, I got a contour powder and was contouring the mess out of my nose. I just looked really crazy, but we all have to start somewhere, I was hooked on YouTube tutorials. Just every time I would go to school, my face would be caked, and not even in a cute way. Like, I would be late to class, and the reason why I would be late was because I was beating my face. Every single time, it never fails. So as I was working at Steinmart, the more I was wearing makeup, the better I was getting. My friends started asking me to do their makeup, and I was like, what? Me? Like, I'm just doing it on myself. So at first I would be like, no, I was scared. I was like, I don't know if I can touch somebody else's face. So anyone that I would check out, they would be like, oh, wow, your makeup looks nice. Who did your makeup? Your makeup looks nice. So people kept complimenting me, and I was like, oh, maybe I am getting good. So I finally got the courage to start doing makeup on my family and my friends. I fell in love. I was like, doing people's makeup just made me so happy, and then seeing the reaction on their face when they love it, it's just so fulfilling. I just kept doing it and doing it. I would have people over all the time just doing their makeup for free, and then if they wanted to tip me, of course they would give me some money. My dad noticed that people would always come to my house to get their makeup done without paying me, and he was like, you keep doing people's makeup, you should charge for this. And I was like, he's right. Like, I'm spending my time doing people's makeup. So I finally got the courage to finally start charging people, and I think I was charging like $35 or something at the time, and people would pay me the $35, and then I went up to $40, $45, and so on. Even I remember if I'm close to them, I would charge them like $20, something super cheap. Then I was like, wow, I really love what I'm doing. So I would love to one day work at MAC because of the experience that I had when I got my makeup done for prom. So mind you, I already didn't like school, but once I found that I just loved the art of makeup and doing people's makeup and doing it on myself, I just started hating school more and more, because at the time I didn't realize it, but it was because I found my true passion. So I didn't know how to tell my family, because my mom, like, a degree means so much to her. Both of my parents, like, she even took out a loan for me to go to school. She did a lot. So I was scared to tell them that I wanted to drop out and do people's makeup. Guess what I did? So I decided to pretend like I was still going to school, but instead I went and got a job at Macy's. When I say pretend, I literally mean pretend. I would pack up a backpack, okay? And I would wake up early in the morning and pretend as if I'm going to school, but instead I was either going to work or going to Roger's house. Or if it's not Roger's, I would go to a friend's house. I would go anywhere but home, okay? Anytime they would ask me about school, I would lie and I would be like, yeah, it's going good. It's going great. So back to me getting a job at Macy's. I initially wanted a job at MAC. So I went to Macy's because the MAC that we had, they were all in a Macy's store. I went to Macy's, I filled out some questions, I applied, and I put that I wanted to work at the MAC counter. So when they called me for an interview, they asked me what counter I wanted to work at. Again, I told them MAC. And the lady suggested that I work for the other counters. That way I could get into MAC later on, because I didn't have much experience. And she told me that it was difficult to get into MAC. So I ended up becoming a contingent for the other counters that are in Macy's, such as Chanel, Dior, Clinique, Estee Lauder, Benefit. So I ended up becoming a contingent. Is like a floater. So you float around whatever counter needs the most help. When I got hired, it was during holiday season. So the lady automatically put me in fragrance because that's where they needed help the most. And I remember being so pissed. Like, I was like, I did not come here to give people little samples of fragrance. But you know what? Humbling times, okay? Humbling times. The most popular fragrance at the time was Mademoiselle. So I would give people the little paper tabs where you spray the fragrance on, and I would give them to people who come in the store, and I would be like, what would I say? I would be like, Chanel Mademoiselle, Chanel Mademoiselle, Chanel Mademoiselle. And I remember I probably gave those little paper thingies to over 2,000 people, if not more. I like, I said it so many times, girl. And that's how that fragrance became one of my favorite fragrances. Okay. Because I would spray it 10 million times a day. So during those times, I was still practicing on friends and family. Every time I would pass by the MAC counter, I would be so envious of the girls. Like, I would stare at their makeup. I would walk by just to see what they're doing, see what they're up to, see what the makeup artists are doing. I would just stop by all the time asking questions. So then when the holiday season passed, they needed someone to work at the Dior counter because it was short-staffed. So I ended up working at the Dior counter for a while. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to work at MAC. So I headed over to the MAC counter and I talked to the manager there at the time. And I asked her how to apply, how to get hired, if she had any advice. And she talked to me, she gave me some advice. And then one day I was walking by and she told me that they were hiring. So I was so excited. I hurried up, I applied. And when you're applying for MAC at the time, it was like a 3-step process. So the first step is the verbal interview with the manager. And then you have to go in store to do an actual physical application on a model. And then after that, you have a final call with like the people that are higher up. So I don't know if things have changed now, but that's how it was back then. So the first step was the verbal interview, and I passed that with flying colors. The manager liked me. So for the second part of the application process, we had to go to a different location, which had a different manager, and bring a model. I don't remember what model I brought. I wish I remembered, but I don't. I remember being so nervous. Like, I practiced on my model the day before to make sure the makeup was flawless. I get there and there was another person applying too. She tells us that we have to switch models. But when she told us that made me even more nervous. But I still think I did a good job. The application I think it was good at the time. I come home, I was excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. And then I get a call that I didn't get it. When they call me and tell me I didn't get it, they give me some feedback and they tell me that I'm too shy and very timid. And for MAC people or MAC employees, they want someone who's energetic, who's always excited. Yeah, she basically thought, I couldn't deal with the MAC customer and the competitive girls that I would be working with. That's basically what she was telling me. She thought I was too soft and I wouldn't be aggressive enough to push sales. I kindly took the L and went back to working at Dior. 6 months later, I applied again. And the manager at the Macy's that I worked at came up to me again and she said that they were running another round of interviews. So I got excited again 6 months later. It was a little bit less than 6 months, but almost 6 months. I went back, I applied again. The key is don't give up, okay? If you really want something, don't give up. I applied again and finally I got hired. I faked it. I was like, when I went, I acted so outgoing. I was so loud. I was so flamboyant. Like, I was like, if that's what y'all want, I'm gonna give it to you. If I got, like, fake it till you make it. I finally got it. And I remember being so happy. I told all my friends. I told my family. And I was so excited. Now, I didn't get hired on full time, but I did get hired on as a part-time artist. I was hoping to work my way up to a full-time artist. When I started, I was so excited. Like, I would go to work in my best black. I would always do my hair. My makeup would always be fully beat, honey. Like, beat, contour to the gods, okay? The first couple weeks, it was cool. Actually, not weeks. The first couple months, it was cool. The girls were cool, and I remember I got really close with Essie, who's like my big sister. Her name is Essie Defined on Instagram and YouTube, so shout out to Essie. She taught me so much, and Jasmine and a few of the other girls taught me a lot too. And then I started to become better and better at my craft. So more people started coming to me to get full faces done. Mind you, I was still doing faces on the side, but I ended up becoming a little bit more popular. And so sometimes if my clients couldn't book me on the side, they would book me at the counter. So they would purchase about $50 worth of product so they could get their face done, and I would just get my hourly from it. While doing faces at the counter, it started slowing me down, meaning I wasn't making as much sales as I had to make, because you know, when you work at retail, you still have to keep up with the sales. You get a daily goal of sales and you have to meet it. Since I was busy beating faces all day, I wasn't making my goals. So I got a warning from my manager. Hold on, guys. I can't talk and do my brows, so let me do my brows and then I'll come back with the story. Okay, I'm back with some finished eyebrows. Now we're gonna pick up where I left off. So I got a warning from my manager because I wasn't making the sales goals. And you know, you can only get so many warnings before it starts becoming a real problem. Like, you could get fired. She talked to me about it. It did, you know, it scared me a little. If I wanted to keep my job, I needed to learn how to multitask better and make these sales. So I ended up busting my butt trying to make these sales goals. And so I wouldn't get another warning, you know. It just kept getting harder and harder. I started growing a bigger clientele. Social media was becoming a huge thing. I decided to start posting my work on there. And the more and more I was posting my work, the more clients I would get on the side. So the clients I was taking on the side started clashing with me working at MAC. And because I was mainly part-time, they mainly needed me on the weekends. And the weekends was when I started getting more and more bookings. I started booking a lot more bridal parties, brides, just all different occasions. When I would need those weekends off, I remember needing a weekend off and my manager couldn't give it to me because, once again, Saturdays, Friday, Saturday, Sundays are the busiest days in retail. So it was like a definite no. Like, I was told no so many times and I was like, dang, like I'm really missing out on doing other people's makeup on the side. I would be making way more money doing people's makeup on the side rather than doing it at MAC. With the stress of me not making my sales, the stress of trying to keep up with the sales goals, and then once I started to grow a bigger clientele, doing it on my own, once I started getting really, really serious, I was watching how people do their videos. And I remember I was on my phone and Roger was sitting right next to me. And I showed him this video of Desi Perkins. And I was like, wow, like I was so blown away by her quality. That was when she was doing makeup videos heavy on Instagram and YouTube. And I was blown away by her quality, her talent, her execution, the way she styled her hair with the makeup, with the background, with the face. Like, I was just like, whoa, like I want my videos to look like that. So we sat in the living room and I would do a video and he would edit it for me. He was like, I can edit it for you. I'm not tech savvy, so he would edit my videos for me. I remember the first video he actually edited was of a client of mine, and I actually did her makeup for free because I wanted to just post it on Instagram. So I remember doing her makeup and he edited it for me. And I think it's just so funny because you can see the evolution of Roger's editing and my makeup skills and like just me growing like slowly, gradually, and his editing game becoming better and better, and my makeup skills becoming better and better, and just like us just growing. It's just insane. We're gonna insert a video of my first Instagram video of the girl's makeup that I did. I remember I forgot her lashes. Like, I had to go to her house to do it, and I forgot her lashes, something else, but the makeup looked so incomplete. But it was still cute. It was still cute. So we are going to be using the star of the show, the Vanessa Palette. If you haven't grabbed yours, get yours right now. The collection is sold out, and thank you guys so much for being so supportive and supporting my palette. It means the world to me. So the collection is sold out. Legit Nude is sold out as well, but we still have the palette and Naomi lip gloss individually for sale. So grab yours before it's all gone, and it is limited edition. Also, you can use my code Vanessa for 10% off. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the shade BSG, and I'm gonna place it in my crease. As I was, posting and Roger was editing for me, I ended up wanting to start YouTube as well. We're gonna go back to when Mac and my side hustle became too much, okay? Just listen to this part first. So I started up my YouTube while I was posting on Instagram, trying to get my name out there. And Roger was like, hey, you need a camera. Because the camera, he had a camera, but the camera that he had was super old. Like, it wasn't holding up. It was just bad. So he was like, we need a camera. I remember we didn't have the money. I was broke, barely making it. Roger was broke, barely making it. So he asked one of his friends if he could get a Best Buy credit card, and we would pay him. I don't remember if he already had the gift card. I don't remember if he already had a Best Buy gift card or if he got one because of us. I can't remember, but shout out to Fred. And he did it for us, and we paid him, I think, every 2 weeks to pay the camera off. We haven't always been able to upgrade how we upgrade and get a camera that's thousands of dollars. No, it didn't come overnight. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I appreciate him so much for doing that, and Roger for doing that for me, like even asking, that's what happened. And we upped the quality a little bit. The camera that we got, it wasn't the best, but it was still a really good camera. I believe it was a Sony, and we worked with that for a while. I was doing a few YouTube videos, but I wasn't really consistent on there. I was more consistent on Instagram. Back to Mac and my side hustle, which was doing people's makeup. So the more that I was posting videos, I would get more gigs. People started knowing about me more and more. Ended up becoming really hard to juggle both. So I just sat there one day and I was like, can I really do this? Like, can I take this leap of faith and just do people's makeup on my own and make a living out of it? Again, YouTube wasn't paying me because I wasn't consistent on there. Instagram wasn't paying me either. The way Instagram was paying me was by me, when I would post, I would get clients. So I guess in a way it was, but not like how it is now with ads and stuff. I just sat there one day and I was like, maybe I can do this on my own. So I calculated how much I was making from doing makeup on the side, and I calculated how much I was making from Mac, and how much I was making on the side ended up being more than how much I was making from Mac. It was like, if this was being an MUA on the side and working at Mac, this was like the difference. Doing people's makeup, the money is very inconsistent, especially in Ohio where I live. It's so inconsistent. Like, people get their makeup done, but not like that. And it was mainly only on the weekends. I decided that I was gonna leave Mac and really try to pursue this on my own. Eventually, I ended up telling my parents that, I wasn't going to school anymore and I wanted to pursue doing makeup. Of course, like every African parent, they were curious. They were like, well, how are you going to, make a living out of doing makeup? Because it wasn't popular for makeup artists to be very successful. And if they were, they would be like in LA, like big cities. So the fact that I was in a small city, it was just like, they were like, how? You know what I mean? I took that leap of faith, girl. Even Roger was like, when I quit, he was like, he thought I was crazy. Everybody thought I was crazy. They're like, what? But you know what? I believed in myself. And that's all you need. You need to believe in yourself, have faith, be humble, and do what you gotta do. As I was posting, I began posting myself more. First, I was like alternating the two. I was posting a video of a client, and then I'll post myself. Post a client, then post myself. I realized that I started getting more traffic when I would post myself. People just liked it more when I would post myself. So I was like, maybe I should just continue to just post myself. So I was still killing people's makeup on the side, taking on brides, traveling from state to state, doing people's makeup. My name started becoming more and more popular. I even worked at a salon. First, I started in my parents' basement after I told them the truth. I started in my parents' basement. It started becoming like unsafe because too many people started knowing where I lived. And then I started to leer off of taking on so many clients. Why? Because I started being able to make a living off of posting on Instagram. I started thinking about quitting doing people's makeup around early last year. Early last year. I started thinking about, I don't know if I want to do people's makeup anymore because, it's an amazing job. It's very fulfilling, pleasing people, and seeing their faces after you're done doing the makeup. It's just everything. But I didn't want that to be my forever anymore. And it's crazy because as you get older, your goals change. I thought I wanted to be a professional makeup artist forever. I thought I wanted to work at MAC forever. And it's just crazy how like God elevates you, and the more you grow, the better your goals get for yourself. Or not even as in better, but just how your goals change. So yes, early this year, I decided to completely stop. It was very hard because like a lot of my loyal clients would hit me up, and I would like fold and say I would still do it, and I would still do it. But I ended up turning in my keys to the salon I was at, and I was out of there, and I said, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. So I ended up taking my influencer life a lot more serious, started becoming more consistent. Everything just started falling into place. It's just crazy how like the evolution of life, it's insane. And now I'm here. I'm growing. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. God has blessed me with a collab with Juviasplace, which has been one of my biggest accomplishments and a dream come true. And I just couldn't be more excited. Like, I want people who watch this and, aren't where they want to be yet to know that this didn't come overnight. Like, I couldn't afford a camera at one point. We used to do my Instagram videos in Roger's living room. Like, I took several leaps of faith and it doesn't happen overnight, But But just know that one day your hard work will pay off. You know, you will reap what you sow. I promise. My advice to people, you know, if they do want to get into this field, is to always remain humble, remain respectful. Don't let, you know, followers or a little bit of recognition get to your head. Don't forget about the people who supported you from the beginning. Now we're going to take Stush and we're going to place that all over the lid. Okay, shout out to Jai. I think that's her name, Jah. Oh my gosh, her brushes are everything. Everything. She sent me her brushes. She's also a makeup artist and beauty influencer. Her videos are impeccable. You guys should follow her. But these brushes, I'm usually not impressed with brushes, but her brushes are everything. Like, they're so thin, and that's what I've always wanted, and especially eye brushes, for it to be super thin so I can get, you know, sharp lines and, you know, cut the crease, and it packs on color so well. I love it. So I'm taking BSG again and I'm softening the edges. I'm doing the look that Ariel did on Kylie Jenner that was super soft and super pretty. It was like and she had 3 little crystals at the top. Yes, that look. So yeah, I just wanted to share more of my story with you guys. You know, as I become more consistent on YouTube, I'll be sharing more and more. So I'm excited. But anyway, I say this to say I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but the journey has been crazy but good. Life is a journey, you know? So I'm taking it day by day, and I'm grateful for every moment, you know? Any successful person will tell you, you know, it doesn't happen overnight. So enjoy the process, like enjoy the journey. I feel like I'm low-key a good motivational speaker. What do you guys think? Also, guys, I'm not saying because, you know, you found your passion and you're working towards your passion, go to work tomorrow and quit your job. Like, no. Like, you gotta feed yourself, okay? Like, it's gotta be the right timing. It's gotta be, you know, you gotta have a good supportive system. Like, you have to have a supportive. I had the help of my family, and I lived with my parents, so I was able to do it. And I had the help of Roger, so I was able to do it. So don't just get up and go and quit your job. Like, you have to have a good supportive system. The money has to make sense. Like, you can't be making less here and more during your day job and say, oh, I'm gonna quit my day job because I want to make more. No, like, your side hustle has to end up making more than your day job for you to quit your day job and for it to make sense, if you know what I mean. Don't go to work tomorrow and be like, I quit because I watched Vanessa's video and she says she took a leap of faith, so I'm going to take a leap of faith too. It has to make sense. So I finished off my eyes off camera because I don't want this video to be like 30 years long. So all I did was add gold little stones on the lid, and then I smoked out my lash line with BSG and added a lash and some mascara. If I could tell myself one piece of advice when I was in my teens, I would tell myself that life is not a race. Calm down. Chill out. Everybody has their time, you know? And God's timing is always the best. And that's on period. That's on periodically. Okay? If you're in your teens or your early 20s or your mid 20s, or even if you're, you know, in your 30s and, you know, you feel a little bit discouraged, or, you know, you're waiting on your time, don't worry. Write down your goals, manifest them, and it will come to pass. So right now I'm just contouring my nose, and then we're gonna put some blush on. Of course, I'm gonna wear legit nude with this look. You guys sold that out in less than a week. Like, wow. You guys were not playing about legit nude. I'm obsessed with that nude, and I'm so happy that you guys love it too, because that nude is everything. Now we have Naomi left, so if you haven't grabbed that, grab that too, because it's such a pretty, like, if you don't want to do a nude, it's such a pretty hint of color. Like, it's not too bright. With the lip liner, it's bomb. I've been adding highlighter to my makeup routine again. Are you guys proud of me? And then of course we're gonna blend that out. Okay guys, now we're gonna add Stush on the cheeks. I love this for the cheek. Just say cheese and bam. Look at that color payoff. It's so pretty. You guys know how much I'm obsessed with orange blush, especially on deep dark skin tones. It's to die for. So you guys know I rock with 2 lip liners, so I'm gonna be using my Wet n Wild lip liner, and then I'm gonna use the Cola lip liner from Juviasplace. And now the star of the show, legit nude. Look at that. She don't even gotta work hard. And then last but not least, I'm gonna set my face with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Then I'm gonna let it set. Now I'm gonna go do my hair and put on a shirt, and I'll be right back. So I'm back with my hair done, my jewelry on, and my shirt on. If you wanna know details, this shirt is from Skims. The jewelry is from Amazon. And my hair was done by Mary Tico. So honestly, thank you guys so much for supporting my collab with Juvia's Place. I appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea. The day it launched, I was on my phone for like 24 hours trying to thank like everybody who messaged me, but it was literally impossible. So if I didn't get to you and you see this, thank you for the bottom of my heart. Thank you for spending your hard-earned money on my collab. It means the world to me from the bottom of my heart. And I just couldn't thank you guys enough, because you guys are the reason why I'm here too. So I just love you guys so much. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll try to answer them. I hope you love this look, and I hope you learned something from this video. I hope that this video inspires you, and I hope that I drop some gems, you know, for your head top. Yeah, thank you. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.